Hey everybody, it is Tuesday here in sunny Southern California, except it's not sunny today, and there's our saying for the day. See our saying for the day there? Let me get that backed off just a little bit. But you get the idea, right? That's what we're going to talk about today. That's our very thing we're going to talk about. What's up, Sidharth? Good to see you. Let me type in here. Good morning, everybody. Great to see you. You know, it's amazing when I do these lives. We don't always have a whole lot of people at the moment, but man, afterwards, it's like, oh my gosh, so many people jump in, and that's really cool. And today, I'm going to talk about work-life balance. But if you've got questions about anything else, feel free to put them in that chat section there. I will be happy to answer any of your questions. I've got the gardener behind me now. He's got his motor running. Can you hear that? You hear that? I don't know if you can hear it or not. Anyhow, I'm not going to let him interrupt me. I'm not going to worry about it because we have interruptions in life, don't we? And that's really what we're going to talk about today is life and interruptions and work-life balance and all that good stuff. If you can hear me okay, put that in the chat section. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. Don't forget forget what? Oh yeah, to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on bell notifications. I think it needs two. It needs two. You can't hit it just once. And I want to turn on bell notifications so that, why? So that you're notified when I go live, so that when I upload a video, so you don't have to look for it. It's just there, right? That's what you want. So, guys, today, let's talk about work-life balance a little bit here. And I want to kind of get a primer in here. Yes, can hear you. Good, Sidharth. Good to know that. That's the man with the money. That's the man with the plan right there. Oh my gosh, yeah, he's tearing it up online. So I want to talk about this because it's like it comes up so often, doesn't it? This work-life balance thing comes up so often. But I want you to think about it. Oh, Dean, what's going on, buddy? People are slowly trickling in. They don't always get here when I start. It's like when I'm halfway through, it's like double what it was in the beginning. But that's okay. I understand. Just hit 92 subs and passed 1,000 views. Awesome, man. That is great, Sidharth. And you know, most people never get to 1,000 views, and most people never get to 100 subs, okay? And you're already 8 away from it, so you're doing good. The thing you can do to really increase that, before I get into my little spiel today, is post more content. More content, more content, more content. Make sure it's good, but just keep posting content as frequently as you can. That's going to help you more than anything else you can do. All right, so work-life balance. What is it? It's basically balancing your professional and personal life, but it can be a challenge, right? It can be a real challenge. Now, the question is, what is it? What is it? What is work-life balance? It's different for everybody, and see, that's the problem. Everybody's going, well, gee, I want to have a work-life balance, but what is it for you? You know, do you have kids? You know, do you have a boyfriend or girlfriend? Do you have several boyfriends or girlfriends? You know, I'm trying to post content every other day. That's good. It's good. The more you do, the better. So the thing is, when you think about work-life balance, is everybody has different demands on their time. Some people are very extreme with their work. I was listening to Elon Musk on Joe Rogan's podcast, which you got to watch it. I think it's number 1609. Great podcast. 3.5 hours long, though. Took me a few days to watch that one. But he said that he usually quits work at around 1 or 2 a.m. 1 or 2 a.m. He sleeps 6 hours a night, which is not bad. That's about what I do, 5-6 hours. But, you know, then he's immediately at work. So he's probably in bed at 2, gets up at 8, and he's at work at 9. That's extreme. And he does this, he says, almost 7 days a week. He says sometimes on the weekend it'll be a little bit less, but that's what he does. Now, this is a guy, and this is, if you want to do this, this is a guy who's the richest guy in the world. So that's what it takes. Now we know what it takes to be the richest guy in the world. You got to work till 1 or 2 in the morning. Maybe you don't, but that's what he does. So there you go. There's your example of what you have to do. But work-life balance is really what you want it to be. Now I'm going to talk about a few things that will help you in that area, but it really is what you want it to be. It's not a thing. It's not, 40 hours a week, weekends off, 3 hours a day with the kids. The other thing about work-life balance is it can change on a daily basis. You have different demands put on you on a daily basis. I know I do. And that affects, what I'm going to do that day, or there could be an emergency that comes up, or maybe there's a family member that needs me. Then I have to direct my attention to that. And I can't, at the end of the day, get mad at myself for saying, oh my gosh, you didn't get all those things done today because you had that problem with your kid or your wife or whatever. No, because that's what I chose to do. And that's the next thing I'll tell you is understand that whatever you have right now, whatever you're doing right now is exactly what you want to do. Now, you may not want to hear that. However, it's the truth because you have choices, right? Unless you're imprisoned and all your rights are taken away, every day you have choices. Now, you may have constraints on your choices, okay? So in your country, you may say, well, I want to work on this one website and they pay with PayPal. In my country, PayPal doesn't pay. Okay, so that's just a constraint. There's other ways around that. There's other things you can do. Number one, I'm going to tell you this, accept that there is no perfect work-life balance. It doesn't exist, okay? So if you came to this today searching for perfect work-life balance, you're not going to find it. You're not going to find it because it doesn't exist. It exists for you, but there isn't one pattern for everybody. Let's see some of the comments here. I'm trying to post content every other day. I read that. I think it's important to have discipline and routines with built-in flexibility. Yeah, I do. I think discipline is an overused word. I don't really have discipline. I don't. I can tell you that right now. If I depended on discipline, I wouldn't get anything done because discipline is one of those things where you say, well, I'm going to make myself do this. If you make yourself do something, it's likely you're going to quit pretty soon. So I don't do that. I say, what would I do if I wanted to have this? Okay, if I wanted to have, like right now, I started finishing my course yesterday called Digital Course Designer. Great course. I mean, it just really is a great course. I did a lot of research, and it's going to teach people how to sell courses online. So I said yesterday, well, I want to start doing some of the videos, and I want to edit them, and I'm going to do it for a certain period of time before dinner because, yesterday we were going to spend some time together and not work in the evening. Which we do every now and then. So I knew that I was going to work on that till 5, okay? And it was around 2:30 after I finished my workout. So it was like whatever I got done is what I got done. I got 3 videos done, which is good. I got them uploaded, got them in the membership portal in Kartra, and that's on its way. And I got a logo worked on. Today, I have a meeting with Google rep about our ads. That's at 10 a.m. and this is what, 9:07 now, so in a little bit I'm going to meet with him. Then after that, today, I have to do videos until the end of the day. I have 12 scripts written, kind of written. Some of them aren't really written. I'm going to wing some of them. And that's what I'll be doing for that period of time. So I don't really have discipline. I don't. I'm going to tell you I don't have discipline. I have things that I tell myself that if you want to be this, these are the things you got to do. Just get up every day and do them. No matter how you feel. You've got to ignore how you feel. Now, that leads into number 2, and number 2 is try to find something that you love doing. Try to find something that you love doing. It's a whole lot easier to accomplish things when you're doing something you love. Now, if you find something you love doing, understand that you're not going to love it all the time. You're not. You're just not going to love it all the time. My son works at the Cleveland Clinic in the cardiac unit, and that was his dream job to work there. But he doesn't love it every minute. Sometimes there's some real tragedies there and people die, and right now it's icy and cold in Cleveland, and there's some negatives to it. There's never going to be something that never has negatives to it, ever. It's not going to happen. And if you're looking for that, you're going to be sorely disappointed because it doesn't exist. Let me get a drink here real quick. What's Paul got to say? Paul says, habits instead of discipline. I know working out is a habit as well as you eating. Yes. Today I cheated a little bit. I got a McDonald's breakfast, but I didn't just go get whatever because I looked at their big breakfast and it was like 1,400 calories, but I could get a sausage McMuffin for around 500 calories. So I went that route. Do I eat that every day? No, I don't. Do I eat breakfast every day? No, I'm not perfect in that area. I'm just not, okay? But I did plan out my lunch. I have all that set up. So the second thing was, find something that you love. And the third thing, and something that Paul just brought up there, and guys, feel free to post in there. Let me know what you're thinking of this. Let me know what your work balance is. The third thing is prioritize your health, okay? Your overall physical, emotional, and mental health should be your main concern. I mean, this should be a priority for you above everything else. If you feel bad, okay, if you tire out easily, if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not eating right, you're not going to be able to pull off any kind of balance. I mean, you're just not. I used to hear it when I was a kid. It's like, if you got your health, you got everything. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And the funny thing was, as a kid, I was healthy, and it didn't even cross my mind. Never crossed my mind. But as you get older, right, you start having some aches and pains and stuff. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to really prioritize my health. And the only way to do that is do things that are uncomfortable. One of the most uncomfortable things for me is working out. I do it on a daily basis. Today, I won't be able to. Once again, priorities, because I had this meeting, I had this live this morning, and I have to film videos all day long. And if I take out, the 2.5 hours to work out, I wouldn't get some of this other stuff done. So I got to prioritize. I can't always do it perfectly. Now, what happens with your health is some people will say, well, I didn't work out today, so screw it. I'm off my plan now, and it doesn't matter anymore if I work out anymore because I missed a day. No, you just missed a day. Okay, don't overgeneralize that. Oh yeah, well I cheated today on my lunch and I had cheeseburger and fries and a shake, and you know what, screw this diet, I can't stay on a diet, I'm no good at this, I'm gonna go back to eating any way I want. No, you screwed up that one meal, that's all. It didn't mean you screwed up the whole day. Okay, your next meal you could try to correct a little bit, get you some broccoli and some grilled chicken and go in the other direction. You can do that. Okay, so don't think because you screwed up or you didn't do it perfectly that it's all over with. Nobody's perfect. Okay, nobody's perfect. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't do that. What is Paul saying here? Paul, love working as a firefighter, paramedic, lieutenant. Never had a day I wanted to call off. Like you said, some days were harder than others, but it was still the most fun I had with my clothes on. Yeah, and I was actually, I was an EMT. I wasn't a paramedic, but I was an EMT in Virginia. And that was my volunteer work on the Virginia Beach Rescue Squad. We had about, I think 130 running members at the time. I think they have paid ones now, but back then everybody was volunteer, and I loved doing that. But some days was tough, right? You have somebody throw up on you a couple times in a day, or punch you in the face, or whatever. You have a couple people die on you. Yeah, it can change your day dramatically. All right, so we got the health thing down, right? Prioritizing your health first and foremost will make you a better person overall, period. That's just the way it is. Prioritizing your health doesn't have to consist of radical or extreme things. You don't have to be in better shape than everybody around you. Just work on it. That's all it is. Just work on it. Don't put so much pressure on yourself, and do the best you can. And the next thing I want to talk about is don't be afraid to kind of back off and unplug every now and then. Okay, cutting ties with the outside world every now and then lets you recover from things. Okay, taking a day off from working, okay, lets you recover a little bit. What you want to do, what I didn't understand many years ago was that taking a break was really just decompressing. And I've got the gardener behind me. Can you hear the gardener? Put it there if you can hear the gardener. He seems awful loud to me today. It's like he's got right behind the window and he's weed eating, and there's no weeds behind my window. There's none. There's no reason for him to be weed eating behind my window. Whatever. I think he knows when I'm live. Maybe he's got like YouTube on his phone and he's watching. He's going, now is when I want to do the weed eater. I think you hit it on the head with prioritizing day. Do work needed, not just busy to be busy work. Yeah, and sometimes I think, Paul, you got to kind of look at what did you do and look back on it. And the phones now are pretty interesting because it'll show you how many minutes you spend on social media, how many minutes you spend on websites and all that stuff. I really try to get off social media as much as I can. I do post there, but it's more business related. Every now and then I'll find something funny and I'll post it. But man, social media can eat up your day. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. So don't be afraid to kind of unplug, not do anything, relax, grab a book, do something like that. Let's see here. I'm just kind of looking at some of the stuff here. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is take a vacation. Number 5, take a vacation. Now, I remember the 4-hour work week, and I don't know if you ever read it or not, but what it talks about is the average human being will work 40 years, and then when they're old, they start to vacation and enjoy themselves. And he kind of turned that up on its head, and he says, no, why don't you just work a little bit and then take a vacation, and work a little bit and take a vacation? I know on average, without the pandemic, I was taking about 6 or 7 trips a year. 6 or 7 trips a year. Now, some of them I would combine with business. It may be, a digital marketing convention, but, I'm going to hang out with some of my friends there, and we're going to party, and we're going to swim, and we're going to see some sights too. You can combine these two. It doesn't have to be a fine line between you working and you vacationing. And you don't have to wait until you're too old to vacation. I see that. I see people say, well, I'm going to go to the south of France when I retire, but they didn't take care of their health. And when they do retire, they can't walk but a half a mile, so they can't really see the south of France, okay, because they're in bad shape. A lot of these things that you're going to want to do throughout life, you need to do them when you're younger, okay? You need to actually do it when you're younger. And the only way to do that I see is to really either be independently wealthy or work online. Because if you work online, it doesn't really matter where you are. And that's why I really try to get as many people as possible trained on how to start, run, and grow your own business online. Because if you can do that, if you can pull that off, all these other things I'm talking about, you can actually do. And also the last thing I would say is you want to make time, well, not even the last thing, one other thing, but you want to make time for yourself and your loved ones. Okay, super, super important that you do that. Don't ignore your family members. It's a shame. There's that song, The Cat's in the Cradle, I think it is, where the guy never had time for his son, and his son saw that, and his dad was always working and always busy, never spent time with him. Then his son grew up, and his son had kids, and his dad wanted to go spend time with him now, and the son's like, I got the kids now, I got the job, I don't have time for you. So they never really had time together. I think I was smart enough to realize when I became a single dad, I didn't really date or do any of that stuff. That I wanted to spend time with my kids, so anytime I had off, I would spend time with my kids, and we did go places, and we went on vacations, and I took them all around I took them to Puerto Rico, I took them to Vegas, I took them to Disney, I took them all these different places, and now they've got those memories. And now the cool thing is they call me a couple times a week. They live in different states now, but they want to just sit and talk to me, and I think it's because we built that relationship then. Don't try to build a relationship with your kids or your loved ones after everything else. You need to take time for them too. It's super important to do that. What has Paul got to say here? Paul says, miss you and Jessica taking a break for lunch on Fridays. Paul, I got to be honest with you. We have been doing some Friday lunches, but we're not in a restaurant. And I didn't think anybody would be interested in seeing me sit in my car with a tray hooked onto my steering wheel, which is where we have to eat. Now, literally in California, they wouldn't even let you eat outside. Another reason we're leaving California, but you couldn't even eat outside. So, what were you going to do? It's ridiculous. And we'll get back to that because in Austin, they let you eat indoors, right? They let you eat at a table, and lo and behold, their COVID cases aren't any worse than California's. They're bad, but they're bad everywhere, right? So of course, this year we didn't have the flu, so yeah, who knows what the heck that is. And what other thing I would say? Set boundaries and work hours, okay? If you say you're going to do certain things, I guess I have more points to make than what I thought. If you say you're going to do certain things, you say you're going to quit at 5, quit at 5, okay? If that's what you say you're going to do, stick to what you say you're going to do. If you don't stick to, what you're going to do, then, that's a bad thing. And you do have to set boundaries, and Jessica and I work online, and we talk about working online a lot, and sometimes we'll just look at each other and we'll say, okay, we're not going to talk about business anymore tonight. We just look at each other and go, yeah, okay, let's do that. We don't need to. Let's stop doing that. Otherwise, you're all consumed by it because that's what you do every single day, and that's not good for you either. Let's see. I think it's important to do the vacation, make time for family. Loved that trip you took to visit daughter and family in Florida. Yeah, and I did that during COVID. And then what we did is we combined it. I left Tampa, Florida, and we went down to Key West, and we hung out there and just hung out at the bars and the restaurants and walked around and had a great time. And we got work done too, and I filmed videos down there and did stuff. I can't tell you what you're missing if you're not working online. I really can't tell you the life that you're missing. And you're going to have to put in work. You're going to have to put in effort. I know I do. Today is going to be a very hectic day, very busy day, and I know that up front. But man, the payoff is phenomenal, guys. It really is. You got to do it. You got to work online. If you're listening to this video right now and you're not working online, man, dig into some of my videos on this channel. Watch some of the stuff I talk about on here. I'm sharing with you. Really, I'm kind of documenting my life. So when I'm gone, people can look through this channel and go, oh, he did this, and this, okay? So that's kind of what I'm doing. So anyhow, set boundaries is one of them. And then if you're going to set boundaries, that's cool. Also set goals and priorities, okay? Pick out what you want to accomplish. Pick out what you want to do and get it done. Get it done, okay? Now, you may start a project, and I've done this before, where, you know, something else is going to take you away from it. But if that project was important enough to you, get back to it. Get back to it and do it. Don't just say, oh, I quit that, so I'm not going to do it anymore. Well, no, because then all that effort you already put into it is wasted. A good example is Digital Course Designer, which is the course I'm coming out with next. In that particular course, I started in, I think it was January. Then I worked on it some in April, May, June, and July. And then other things came about, and I couldn't do anything on it. And here it is, what, February, a year later, and I've got it all back together now. I've got all the outlines of all the stuff I did, and I'm going to put it all together, and I'm going to have a really cool course for you guys. I think you're really going to like it. And let's get into some questions now too. Let's see, Paul, what's you got to say here? Do you plan out your day the night before, or weekly strategies on Sundays? I generally will plan the day before. I do plan weekly certain things, like I know every other week I'm going to shoot videos every other week, because I shoot 10 to 12. I post 5 a week, and that gives me enough plus a little buffer. Now if something comes about and I can't shoot, I know I've got enough videos in there where it won't hurt me, but I try every other week to do that. So that's a weekly planning thing. And then daily, I really do kind of plan it the night before, because the things change so much that I can't always plan that a week in. I can't say a week in advance on Monday I'm going to do this, because things could come up. It could be a doctor's appointment. It could be, you know, I got to work on my ads because they aren't producing the way I want, which actually they're producing really good now. I'm happy about that. How often do you reevaluate your goals and objectives, weekly, quarterly, or annually? Yes. Yes, I actually do it in all those times. I look at them daily, I look at them weekly, I look at them monthly, I look at them annually. I'm constantly reevaluating, because I think if you set goals and priorities and you never go back and look at them, other things will creep into your life and make you want to change them. The important thing is that you do have priorities and goals, but it's not important that you do exactly what they say, because other things may affect them. Okay, so that's super important. I'll give you an example. I was running ads for this one offer, and everything was working on the ad. Okay, so I had an ad, and it's a video on YouTube. People were clicking on it, people were watching the video, people were then going to the opt-in page. They were opting in at a very high rate. They were then signing up for some training, but then it broke. There was a problem with the actual webinar itself, and I'm going to tell you, after 12 years working online, I still make mistakes. So guys, if you're trying something and it doesn't work out the way you want, so what? Just go change it. So when that happened, I had to stop running the ads, right? Because I had to fix that component of it. Now this is crazy, but it took me a month to fix that component. I do have that component fixed now. Now I can go back to running those ads and get those things all ramped up and doing that. James Brain, what's going on, man? You're flitting around so much, I have a hard time being a fly on the wall. How about sharing how you use Tubebuddy? Peace and blessings also. Always, excuse me. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Let me finish this one thought here. And if you guys have any questions on this life balance thing, I hope if nothing else, this makes you go, okay, so I'm not screwed up. So I'm not doing things wrong. Cause you're not, you know, you're doing exactly what you want to do. And matter of fact, when I close out today, I want to give you my little spiel on doing what you want to do. How do I use Tubebuddy? I use Tubebuddy in many ways. The first way I use Tubebuddy, well, first let me tell you what I do. I try to find a title that I think is going to be good. Okay, and then once I find a title that I think is going to be good, I type it in to YouTube. Now when I type into YouTube a couple words, you can put like how to make, and then a whole bunch of stuff's going to drop down, all these suggestions, and I can kind of see what people are searching for. So then I put together what I think is a decent title. Then I go over to Tubebuddy and I use the analyzer in there, and let me see what that is called so I can give you the exact thing that is called. It is called, I'm pulling up my Tubebuddy right now, Keyword Explorer. I go into Keyword Explorer and I try to get a title that's going to rank high, but that doesn't have like millions and millions of competing videos, and then that's what I do. After I do that, I've actually trained my media person to do some of these things, but I did it before him, so I'll tell you what I did. I went in and then I then put in the meta tags in there. It will allow you up to, I think, 500 characters in meta tags. Fill Fill it, fill it, fill it. Put every single thing you possibly can in there that is related. Now, the cool thing about TubeBuddy is when you start to put it in there, below where those suggestions are, it will have the popularity of those keywords and how high they're going to rank. So you can actually look at the keywords below to see which ones are going to rank higher. Now that's the paid version. You don't get that on the free version, but the paid version is so cheap. I mean, it's crazy not to get it. And if you want the free version, in the description of this video after I'm done, you can click and there's a link down there. And if you click and use my link, if you go for the paid version, you can save 30% on TubeBuddy, which is a huge savings. Not that it's really expensive. So that's what I do with TubeBuddy. What else do I do with TubeBuddy? I use it for suggestions of stuff too. I use that part there. There's an SEO studio in there that you can use, and I'm clicking on it now because I'm trying to look at this stuff as I'm talking to you guys. You can enter your target keyword in there, and it will let you know how it ranks on SEO in there. You can use that. There's so many things you can use in there. I have, I think, a video on this channel about TubeBuddy. I would suggest you using that. Let me see if I can find it here. It may let me search it. Let me see here. YouTube. Okay. And if I can find that video, I'll put it in the chat section. Generally, it does not let you put anything in the chat section that is a URL link. However, if it's YouTube, it may allow you to do that. And if it allows you to do that, that's exactly what I will do. Let me see if I can find it here now. I'm going to go to my channel, and then I'm going to put in TubeBuddy and see if I can find a video that will help you guys out. Videos. Yes, there we go. And I think if I called it the right thing, TubeBuddy. See if that works. Yes, yes. Let's see here. This is about the Keyword Explorer, guys, this particular video. So let me get this one here. And if not, what you want to do is search my channel, 3 steps to get instant success using TubeBuddy Keyword Explorer. Okay, so I'm going to try to copy that. And then I'm going to go to my live stream here. I'm going to try to post that in there if it'll let me. And boom. Did that go through? I don't think it did. I don't think it did. Let's see here. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Okay, guys, so if you look in that chat section there and you click on that link, that's going to give you the keyword part of TubeBuddy so that you can actually use that, which is pretty cool stuff. All right, let me get back over to my other screen here. I'm going to look at some of the comments and talk to you guys. Well, I want to talk to you, but you got to talk to me. Can't ignore me. Right? Paul's talking to me. James talking to me. Give me some input. Just curious what time your day starts. I found that 6:30 a.m. works for me. You know, I don't know if there is a good time to start your day. It used to be the world started, you know, at 8 or 9 a.m. and worked till 5. You know, banks closed at 5 and all that stuff. But the world doesn't operate that way now. You know, I have people in India and Mexico and Philippines on a daily basis that I talk to, and their times are going to be different than mine. So I try to be as productive as I can during my day. So I'm generally out of bed by 6:37, I guess, something like that. And then I may screw off for 30 minutes. You know, I have breakfast or whatever. At 7:30 or 8, I'm working, and I'm getting stuff done. I'll do that until lunchtime. I'll have lunch, relax for just a couple minutes. I mean, my lunch is like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It's not long. Okay, I don't take a long time to eat. And I generally, lately have been eating at home just because going out is such a hassle with COVID and all that. You can't eat in a restaurant, can't eat outside. James says, thanks for sharing your experience with TubeBuddy. Thank you so much for asking a question, James. I really appreciate that. The questions really matter a lot to this. So then after I do that, what I'll do is I'll do a workout, and that's going to take me an hour and a half, something like that. And then I'm going to go back to work. I'm going to work up until dinner time. Then I have dinner. And then after dinner, I usually get on the bike, and that's going to take me anywhere from a half hour to an hour. And then I get off that. Then I go back to work again. And then around 9:30 or 10, I'll watch a little bit of TV. And then I'll work and watch TV, kind of a combination. My wife goes to sleep a whole lot earlier. She can fall asleep at 10:30. And then I'll work on something until midnight or 1 a.m. Then I start over again, and that's generally my day. And like I say, it can change up a little bit, but pretty much that's what I do on a daily basis, and it works for me. Okay. James says, where do you host your websites? You know, I have several different places I host websites. I have a hosting company that I use for Magento, and I think it's called Total Server Solutions, but it's just for Magento websites. I have another one that I use for my WordPress websites, and I have a whole bunch of WordPress websites. I actually have 50, so it's kind of a bunch. And I don't know the name of that off the top of my head. I can search that for you and put that back in the comments later. Man, I wish I knew it off the top, but it's a really secure one. And I also pay for security on my websites too. I think I pay, I don't know what that is, $100 a month or something like that, so they don't get broken into, because we had that issue at one point. So yeah, that was an issue. Tell me about your days in here in this chat section, guys. I'm gonna jump out of here in just a couple minutes, so you might as well get some comments in there. Let me get a sip while you're doing that, right? Every day. What are you doing? What time are you getting up? What's your schedule like? How much do you work a day? And I will tell you, my days don't really change much no matter what day of the week it is. On the weekends, I probably work a little less, but we got some goals we're working on right now, so I'm working a little bit more. Fridays is my probably biggest screw off day, and for some reason we just picked Friday. I think it was because we did our Friday lunches. So now what we'll do is we'll go off to lunch, and maybe my wife will shop a little bit, and she'll walk through, you know, Marshall's or Ross or some craft store or something. She does crafts, and she has a DIY channel, so she finds stuff for that channel there. So, you know, we live the life we want. Now, the thing I wanted to end with is whatever you're doing is exactly what you want to do. Yep, whatever you're doing is exactly what you want to do. So you may say to me, well, JR, I don't want to pay taxes. And I'm going to tell you, yes, you do. Yes, you do want to pay taxes. And the reason I know you want to pay taxes is because you're paying them. And you say, well, no, that's not my choice. That's not my choice, JR. The government makes me pay taxes. The government doesn't make you pay taxes, guys. The government does not make you pay taxes. The government wants you to pay taxes. And you say, well, JR, you know, if I don't pay taxes, I go to jail. I said, well, then go to jail. Not a big deal. And you go, well, I don't want to go to jail. I go, there it is. You don't want to go to jail, so you're paying taxes. You see, what you do is you have choices with everything. You may not like the results of the choices of not doing that thing. You know, if you don't show up for work and you're on a job, you know, and you're supposed to be there at 9 a.m. and you don't come until noon every day, they're going to fire you. And you go, well, I don't want to get fired. I wouldn't have any money. I couldn't pay my rent and couldn't eat. I go, well, then you must want to be there. See, if you keep telling yourself that you're doing all these things that you don't want to do, it really makes you angry. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes you anxious, because you're telling yourself you're doing all these things you don't want to do. And that's just not true. It's not true. Every single thing you do are things you want to do. You may not like the alternative of not doing that. That may be the case, but the fact is you're doing exactly what you want to do. Now, if you don't really enjoy your job, if you don't really enjoy whatever it is, then you can change that. You can go start a business online. You can take one of my courses and get your own online business. You say, well, JR, I don't want to spend money for a course. Well, then you're doing what you want to do. You just don't want to spend money. And you say, well, JR, I don't want to have to, you know, take all my off time and work on a business. I mean, I need some downtime. Well, then you're doing what you want to do, right? Every single day, every single thing you do is exactly what you want to do. And the sooner you realize that, the better off you're going to be, the more comfortable you're going to be. I know that I do whatever I want to do every single day. I know it. And I might not like some of the things I have to do, but I don't have to do them. Okay, I shouldn't even have said the word have to. You don't have to do anything. I mean, literally, you could just go crawl up underneath a bench in the park and just lay there if you want. You don't have to do anything, okay? And you say, well, I don't want to be a homeless person. Well, then you're doing what you want to do. You know, you're earning some money, you got a job, you're paying your bills. You know, that's what you want to do. Well, I don't like my job. Well, then go start an online business. Go do it, okay? Quit complaining. You can't complain about what you do every day if you're the one doing it. You're the one getting in the car. You're the one getting dressed. You're the one driving there. You're the one putting yourself in that desk or that building or whatever it is you're doing. You're the one doing it. Nobody is making you do anything. It's only that you may not like the alternative. That's it. So I kind of want to leave you with that today because I think it's important that you know that. What else we got here? What plugins do you use? I use a whole bunch of different plugins. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull some of those up. A whole bunch isn't going to help you out, is it? Let me see if I can pull up some of my plugins that I like. And all I'm going to do is go into, let's see, admin. And I'm going to go in JR Fisher. Then we'll go into my plugins. Let's see here. And I'm going to list these for you, James. And I don't, yeah, I guess I could put them in that chat section, couldn't I? It's loading right now. It's just a little bit slow. I apologize for that. I'll get a sip. And the other guys that are watching, put some comments in there. I'm going to get to everybody. Okay, so I'm in the back end of my website here. And now I'm going to look for my plugins, and there they are. Installed plugins, that's what I'm looking at. Great question too, James, because there's so many of them out there. And these are just mine. I'm not saying you have to do these, but they're mine. I use Akismet anti-spam. It's A-K-I-S. Let me put this in here. A-K-I-S Mit anti-spam. I use that one. I use all-in-one WP migration. Now this is good if you're moving your website from one platform to another, let's say different hosting, which is what we were just talking about. So this is all-in-one WP migration. Really, really good one to use for moving your site. I use, and I guess I shouldn't type in all of these things here. I use auto optimize, optimize. That's another one that I use, and I got a feeling I use too many of them to type them all in here. I also use better, click to tweet better, click to tweet. That's so somebody can actually share my site. I use blank slate. I don't think I need to type that one in. I use Buddy Press. Buddy Press. That's another good one. What else do I use? I use there's click to tweet again. I use footer text, which is a good one. Footer text, and it obviously tells you what that's for. I use header and footer scripts. Header and footer scripts. That's another one I use. I'm just scanning through because I get so many in here, and some of them I use, some of them I don't. I use push crew, so that's for push notifications. I think that's really good. I bet you never thought it was going to be this many, did you? When you asked, I bet you thought, oh, he probably uses a couple of them. No, I use quite a few. So there's push crew I use. I'm getting near the end here. I use SEO data transporter. So SEO data transporter. I use that one a lot. And these do make everything a whole lot more streamlined, automated. It saves me so much time. I use Smush. I use Smush. That's a good one. I also use Thrive. I use Thrive everything. Thrive. Architect. A-R-C-H. I'm terrible at spelling, guys. T-E-C. Thrive Architect. I use everything Thrive, so I'm just going to tell you I use Thrive Architect. I use Thrive Leads. I use Thrive Quiz Builder. I use that one. I use Touch Size Custom Post. That's a good one. I use Tracking Code Manager. What else do I use? URL Shortener by Theme Shop. URL Shortener by Theme Shop. I'm not going to type them all in there because I'm such a terrible typist. I use W3 Total Cache. So I use that one. And I'm updating as I'm saying this. I don't want to do that. That one there gave me a little warning. I'm scared of that one. I use WooCommerce. I also use WooCommerce is W-O-O Commerce. I use WordFence Security. Bet you didn't think it was this many. I use Yoast SEO. I'll put that in there. Yoast SEO. And then all the other ones I spoke there. All right, so let me go back through some of these comments here because I did a lot of typing. Paul says, what you got to say, Paul? Blown away by people who stay in jobs they hate. When I go to Walmart, it's like zombies in the workplace. Far too many people walking around in a fog of mediocrity. They have given up on their dreams. Yeah, I feel the same way. My wife corrects me every now and then. There's a lady that works at our grocery store, and she's been there 38 years, and she's a cashier. All right, and I look at that, and she's very, very kind. She's funny. She laughs, just as happy as she can be. And I walk out of there, and I'm like, wow, she has so much potential. I mean, she has such a great personality. She's so friendly to everybody. Why in the world is she wasting her life there? And she says, well, she's not, because she makes you happy when you go in there, right? She talks to you. She's friendly. I'm like, yeah, I just see so much more potential, in her. And I struggle with that one. I do struggle with that one because we need cashiers. Is she wasting her life, or did she do a lot of good there? I don't know. I mean, I know she doesn't live the life I do, but maybe if she's happy with that, maybe that's okay for her. I think you have to have a dream to waste it. So, maybe she doesn't have those dreams. Maybe she doesn't want to travel. Maybe that's not what she wants. And if she doesn't, I got to step back, because I'm one of those people that I want everybody to want what I want. But I guess I got to step back and go, well, she's doing what she wants. Let her do what she wants, and you do you. So I kind of look at it that way. Love this gang. Hope everyone is chasing their dreams. By the way, do you have a preferred place to purchase domains? Can you buy domains through Kartra? No, Kartra does not sell domains. Great questions too. You always have good questions. I purchase all mine through GoDaddy. Probably not the best move because they're more expensive than some other sites. However, there's a reason they're more expensive. I'm going to get service. I can also log in and look at all my domains and manage all my domains in one place. And some of these other companies that are super cheap for buying domains, they don't help you switch things over when you want. They don't help you redirect your DNS servers. There's a lot of things they don't do. So that's why I buy my domains there. Just for the fact of ease. And I've been doing it since, when did I buy my first domain? I want to say it was 97 or 98. Gosh. So I've been doing this 21 or 2 to 3, 24 years. 24 years. No, you know what? No, I take that back. It was 1996. 96. So that's it's 25 years I've been using that. So yeah, it's been a long time. Guys, do you have any other comments or questions in there? I do have to get on to a move. I do have to move on to a meeting with a Google rep about our ads. But if you have anything else you want to put in there, go ahead and do that right now real quick, and I'll try to answer it. I hope you've enjoyed this today. If you did and you got something out of it, please put in the chat that you got something out of it. Put in there, if you like it, you dislike it, what you'd like to hear more of. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. It's really simple. Just click, 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 click. Give me the thumbs up right there. Just click, click, click. Do that. And that would really be helpful. James says she's happy being a cashier. I was happy driving a big rig for 49 years, was following my bliss. Yeah, but a big rig's fun. You get to see the country. That's like a lifelong vacation. I know it's hard work, but I always thought that was cool to drive a truck. I've always thought that would be cool. Let's see here. Do you think there's any benefit to having your own server? I guess. I don't know. I'm not big enough to have my own server, so I don't know. It could be. I know people have them. I'm not that big. So I don't even know what the difference would be for me. The pages seem to load fine and fast enough and all that good stuff, but I don't know. That's an area that I don't have expertise in, so I don't want to pretend like I'm knowing anything about that. Loving this. Good, Paul. I appreciate it. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and back out now. I appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate you listening. I really appreciate those of you who put comments in there. That matters so much. If everybody would just put, I like this, before you leave, if you would do that, if you're watching this after the fact, put that in the comment section, not the chat section. Just put something in there. It really, really is helpful. But the great thing is if you got a question, put that in there so I can answer it and I can help you out. I can help you quit your job. I mean, that's what I want you to do. If that's what you want to do, if that's not what you want to do, then ignore me. But if that's what you want to do, I want to help you do that. And that's what I do on this channel. That's why I go live each day, is to just help you guys out, maybe give you a little bit of information that may send you in the right direction. So thank you very much for listening today. I really appreciate it. Let me put in here. It won't let me click. There it goes. Thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Boom. Okay, so I stuck that in there. So it's time for me to leave. Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate that. Let me get to my screen here where I can end this thing.